Imagine taking your child to the doctor and you have some very valid concerns, medical concerns about them, and the doctor tells you, no, your child is fine. This is just what happens to the or Tinas, right? That's the answer. You're booted out the doctor's office, right? They take no extra steps to try to find out what the problem is, not a laboratory test ordered, not a follow up scheduled. You are dismissed simply because of your race. Let's talk about how to navigate race based medical treatment. I want to thank Dr. Joel Burbell for posting this video. I haven't posted in so long because I have been windmilling in these streets for this very reason. He had a good conversation about medical bias and race-based medicine. And I'm not going to repost this video. I will put his contact information in the comments, but I can't repost it because it says not for commercial use, and I don't want any problems. However, this story matters. It's so important. Basically, the video talked about a mother who noticed changes in her little girl, and it looked like she was experiencing early puberty. So she did what any mother would do. She paid attention. She asked questions. She brought her concerns to a medical professional, her doctor, right? But instead of those concerns being explored fully, the issue was explained away with a race-based assumption. Lazy, biased, irritating, sloppy medicine, right? Sloppy treatment modalities, just the least amount of effort you can do for anybody. Basically, what this doctor told this mom was, hey, Black girls and Latinas, they get their periods early. Peace out. The mom is telling her, no, it's something else going on. And I could just feel her frustration. Now, the mom wasn't even in the video. It's the doctor telling the story about the mom, right? But being a mother, I've been that mom. I am that mom that sits in these rooms. I'm also the professional that sits in these spaces, right? That takes time to listen to my clients' concerns. And you would hope that would be reciprocated when you go into doctor's offices, but unfortunately, that's not always the case. And it's infuriating, it's frustrating, trying to explain what you're seeing in your child, and you're being treated like you're just a hysterical mother, or like you're full of drama, or you're the angry other mother, right? The sensitive mother that's just seen too much, especially when you're speaking to a medical provider with a very big, fragile ego, right? And in this situation, the mother, she kept pushing. She sought a second opinion, and you know what that doctor did? Agreed with the first doctor. Yeah, that first doctor was right. Yeah, that's right. So she kept going. She finally found a pediatric endocrinologist, and they tested the baby, or the little girl, and guess what? Her blood work came back abnormal. Why does this matter? Because when you are concerned about your child and you are advocating and windmilling for them in these medical streets, it can be something as minor as blood work that will be refused to you that can make the difference between life or death. Now, I'm not saying that this was a life or death situation with this baby, but there was something else going on with her, and she needed additional treatment and testing, right? She needed follow-up care. When we're advocating for ourselves and our children, the mental load, the emotional load, all the loads are already there. And it's not about being dramatic or, John Qing a space, right? It would take you there. It will make you feel like you have to do that, but it's exhausting. You're trying to be reassuring. You're watching for changes. You're remembering symptoms, trying to explain timelines. You're asking questions, trying to understand the medical jargon, and hold yourself together in this room while carrying the ego of this medical professional that could get offended because you've done research. It's exhausting. And I'm not against doctors. I'm not against medical professionals. I am so grateful for my doctors because we all work together, right? When I say build a village, I had to build a village. Some people may not have the access to be able to choose different doctors and networks and move around like that. Sometimes you get what you get. And when we have situations where you get what you get, even if you're with the best doctor, it's still important to be able to go in prepared, fully prepared. It's okay to just be the patient or the parent or the loved one there for support. And the way to do that is to track your symptoms. Take away the mental load of having to remember these symptoms, explain timelines, try to remember all the questions, and it's just too much, right? I would recommend the special edition medical journal for this mom because the special edition has common and uncommon symptoms and symptom variations by race, gender, and age. And it also gives guided questions to help you ask your provider about next steps, testing, results, treatment options. When your loved one is hurting or when you're going through something, document it and let it go. And use that additional energy to focus on helping your loved one heal, being supportive, or receiving the support that you deserve. When someone you love is hurting, you shouldn't have to carry the mental load and the medical load. It's too much for anybody. Track the details, identify the patterns, ask the right questions. Go to mymedicaljournal.com and check out the different type of medical journals that they have. You track your appointments, you track your symptoms, your diagnosis, your providers, your medications, prescriptions, your supplements, side effects, surgeries, inpatient, outpatient care. It's just so many different things to track. Matter of fact, let me show you what I'm talking about. These are 2 copies, right? This is the one that I recommend for that mom because of this section that's in here. The common and uncommon symptoms, and just going to show you what I'm talking about to make it make sense. But this is just one of the versions, and this talks about obesity and metabolic syndrome, and it just gives a description of what metabolic syndrome is. Common symptoms are listed here. Uncommon, these are variations by age, gender, and race. And then it gives you the recommended specialists that you should go see. And then it has follow-up questions that you should ask if you're having these symptoms, right? So what it's not going to diagnose you. That's not what this is for. This is just to help you to track and monitor your symptoms, what's going on with you. So for this mom, I would recommend the special edition. We also have an appointment edition available. My doctor took my last spiral one. It's a spiral one that came out. It's actually two spiral ones that came out, two different ones. But go to mymedicaljournal.com. Look how big this book is, y'all. And it has places for you to track your appointment information, diagnosis, prescriptions, your preferred pharmacy, allergies. It has so much information that you can store in this one book. Your advanced directive. What would you like for them to do if you got into an accident? Who's your emergency contact? What kind of insurance do you have? What kind of allergies do you have? And who should they call? It's just a really good asset for your health and your mental health journey because it reduces the mental load. So yeah, this is a special edition. This is the appointment focus edition. I have to do an additional video to show you the other versions. But for this mom, I recommend special edition, My Medical Journal. Go to mymedicaljournal.com. Tell me what you think. That's my 2 cents. Take a leave this free.